Hello and welcome back. Today we are playing a strong, independent Yugo that don't need no man in Victoria 3 in the Cold War Project mod. Last episode, we started to immerse ourselves in foreign affairs. We became a minor power. Then we started subjugating boyos out and about after, coming up, becoming the shining city on the hill here, and we continue to come up. A big part of this is technology, which seems to be a huge sort of thing, and also the education access and qualifications. This seems to apply to our entire country, and so building tall in one place. Initially, I didn't think this was going to be good in this mod, but it seems to be good in this mod. Just qualifications and education access, these don't scale. This is just one modifier for the entire country. Although in theory, you could just, higher education one place, and, like, split these sorts of PMs. And so we've deleted down. We still do have one uni in a bunch of places, but I think this is just themey, and I think we're going to delete every uni. In fact, we're going to do that now. But this tech has been a huge reason why we could have a bit of a come up, in addition to a very creative accounting on our part, allowing us to, deficit spend for infinity and beyond. Has also been a huge deal. But this will also free up labor. This is our current problem, is labor. And so what we are going to be doing today is we are going to be trying to finish this IMF bailout journal entry, which requires we get heavy industry nationalization, which is a move away from full nationalization. And so we will become a little bit less command economy-y. Currently we're full command economy, but we don't have any, we are accumulating, we're not even accumulating any sort of investment pool, but in theory we could accumulate investment pool now. With our economic system, we just don't have any ownership that allows it. And moving on to, this heavy industry nationalization will allow us to do this. We just have to wait 8 months before we can do this. So this is part of what we're doing. In terms of a more macro perspective, what we're trying to do is we have run out of pops, and we are trying to accumulate more pops. And so we're going to be chilling for 8 months on the law, then trying to pass it, and then also we're going to be trying to tech up a big amount, because the technologies make a huge difference. And so, when you can get them in 10 weeks, this is going to allow us to kind of crush the tree, hopefully, a lot faster and catch up to some of the bigger boys. Because we only have, the 17th largest economy currently in Yugoslavia, which is still pretty good, but we want bigger. We want bigger. So it looks like we have confirmed kind of our current economies of scale throughput cap, which is going to be 60 at this point in time. And so we'll finish these unis we have up in the queue, but going forward, we'll just kind of build up to the throughput cap. Looking at our economy, we definitely shouldn't have built just built everything in the capital, but I really wanted to make sure if something weird happened, the capital had access to goods, and also there's manufacturing throughput, and we needed one thing of a bunch of different manufacturers at the time. And so now what we're kind of moving towards is we're having our, very tall industries. We have one level in the capital, and then another thing that's built tall somewhere else, and this sort of thing. So we will try and push economies of scale. It's still going to be really tough though, because we basically don't have the pop for this, but we got our institute, our research institute, a tech, which should help out quite a bit. I think it's an urban here, and so we will make use of that for advanced analytics, which will move the entire country plus 2% education access and another plus 10% on the qualifications. It is certainly becoming increasingly apparent that compulsory secondary education was a mistake, but we're not unringing that bell anytime soon. And now we have to select some research, and I think that why don't we, there's just so much stuff to try and select. And, I think that, moving towards processors is probably pretty good. That's another tech tier down, though. And so maybe we can get some conventional, yeah, let's do forklifts. That seems like a good one. Labor-saving PMs in general seem really good. Do we have, labor-saving PMs in the resource industries? Because we actually do have a decent amount of resource industries. We see, advanced irrigation might give us labor-saving, or just reduce the equilibrium of employment. Train modernization, high-speed rail for all these might be good, but we don't really have too many of those. But modern diesel and modern electric trains might be good. Turnover conveyor belt system might be good here. So I guess maybe, and these are tier 3 techs, maybe we push these. I didn't really see anything that had caught my eye kind of in the society techs. I mean, I guess we could take a quick look at, like, what we could do. I mean, max tech investment might be good. Currently, we are getting some good amount through tech spread. Public choice theory, what's this? Interesting. Trade route volume and such. Crime detection, hydraulic breakers might be good. Logging camps, resource discovery chance. Interesting. Well, I do like my resources, and, you know, I kind of have a sneaking suspicion that we might be gated on some things, so let's do this, and then let's come back in the production tab and look to push for this tier 4 tech here through here, and this will be kind of our strategy for, you know, the research as we're moving forward. Still waiting on our ability to pass heavy industry, but we will be getting on that in just a few weeks, just 7 weeks. So, rare earth elements were finally discovered, hey, in Mozambique. Let's find them. Right here. Rare earth elements. So we will be annexing this guy at our earliest convenience, mainly to get after these rare earth elements, but also because colonialism. So this will be big nice, for at least for us, not for them. You know, this is what globalism is all about, extracting resources. It's a modern day, and you can see this is what's the hang-up in our economy. This is what's pushing us to not be able to do semiconductors. And so this will be a big solve to our, you know, moderate-sized problems. Still waiting on this. Do have to wait, I think, like 1 more week. 1 day. 1 day. Perfectly timed. So we're going to pass a day, and then, you know, we're going to pass a day, and then we are going to try and get on heavy industry, nationalization. Let's see if we can reform the government. We could reform and put this guy in gov. Unfortunately, then we'd get minus 50% pass speed, and we don't want that, and so we won't do that, even though with our current setup, you know, we have 30% instead of 41%. This should be fine, and we should be getting rid of our international shame that is the IMF bailout. So just to be clear, we would be increasing construction at this point in time pretty dramatically, but the reason we're not going for any more construction is because we're just flat out of labor, and so the extra construction won't really be that valuable. Even now, the stuff we're constructing isn't tremendous because it can't even employ up. Like, this tooling manufacturer is having problems employing, although this one, it's not having as big of problems anymore, so go figure. But what we can do is we can, like, push economies of scale in places, you know, and get more throughput and make them more profitable that way, and build up infrastructure and kind of prepare for an eventual situation where we will, you know, being able to do this. We're going to get it plus 100 prestige once we resolve this IMF thing, which will this tick us into the next level? If this ticks us into the next level, hopefully it will improve, you know, our, here, let's just keep this going. No, it's not going to tick us in the next level. We need 835 prestige, but getting to the next level would be nice for migration, and mass migration events are super nice. We had a malice when we were unrecognized. You know, I think we might have 25% if we were a major power in terms of migration, and so maybe this is going to be one way we solve it. Also, stopping discriminating and annexing Mozambique will be a little bit of a nice little come up. We can't annex them yet. We get dermoplastics for the fuel refineries. That's kind of nice. So let's come in on the fuel refineries, but you know, we are kind of in a little bit of a period where we're lagging a little bit, or we're slowing down a little bit. I don't suppose... Well, plastics aren't super cheap, so I don't think we need to turn this on yet, but it'll be important to keep in mind. So, music to my ears. Does this have anything to do with getting stuff? We'll probably fund it for 10% prestige. Hell yeah, brother. Let's go. These levels in conveyor belt, you know, tech seem to be pretty big because they just give you straight up throughput, but also they just, like, more churn through your economy because it's going to have demand for all these things. So we're having increased demand for, what is this, batteries, which we don't have much demand for batteries, but to be fair, we really don't have that much battery production. So we're going to scroll down and we're going to find, well, we don't have too many semiconductor manufacturers. We're going to put that in there. And what these do is it is going to make additional throughput, an additional 5% throughput at the expense of some batteries, which is going to be really nice for the low-level things. And so we'll add some here, and we will expect to see, you know, these deploy up a little bit more as the price demand for batteries goes up, which is going to spike demand for rare earth elements. We do have to get on that rare earth element game, and so hopefully, yeah, this is gonna, the prices are gonna start normalizing, but we want to get everything onto that, and so we are going to, dramatically increase the quantity of batteries that we are producing. So let's find the battery plant. I said let's find the battery plant. And we're going to put a little 10 stack down here in northern Serbia, where I think we are auto-producing, and, work towards a better economies of scale here. Also, we do have the basic green tech, which is going to come into play a little bit later, but I find it really neat how, like, the software and the AI and this stuff, this is giving throughput, and then, this stuff's getting throughput, and then also you're getting throughput from economies of scale. So just so many things that are giving throughput, and this is one of the ways, instead of just PMs, this is one of the ways in which they're, allowing you to come on up. And also, like, assembly lines will, like, or they should, like, increase throughput. So this all makes a lot of sense. So we just researched a tech which increased the throughput cap from 60 to 70. I would really like to see, in vanilla, a higher throughput cap, but this tech and this way of, like, somewhat exponential growth that you get off of tech in this game is pretty neat. I think we're going to go for train modernization here. This seems like a reasonable tech, and will also, labor save a little bit. I'm beating a dead horse here talking about us just running out of labor, but now we've penetrated kind of the tier 4 techs. I think we're done that spreading. Yeah, so we have no penalty to the tier 4 techs, so we can really take a look at the, like, tier 4 production techs. Like, we could look for Sterling Engine. Engine seems like a really big one. Maybe this discrete manufacturing is going to be good, but we haven't, managed to get onto all the batteries and such yet either. That one's just like a nice increased output, so light emitting stuff. There's just so much text to, like, read through. Technological institutions throughput. That seems good. That seems like what we want. So we're going to go for that after this. And then single chip processors, I'm sure, is, like, fairly good. And so, yeah, we're just kind of coming along. Automate or advanced irrigation, is this going to save labor? No, it's just going to increase output. Fair enough. Well, so we got these techs coming in the pipeline pretty soon. We have gotten this scandalous stall event literally 5 times in a row now, and it's to the extent that I think it might be bugged. I don't really know what to make of this. We could give this guy an honest face. He's really loved. He's an electoral reformist. And he wants direct democracy. That's this boyo here. He is so well loved because we have rolled an honest-faced, only an honest-faced, 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 honest-faced from stalling out on this repeatedly. We also did a little bit of a gimmick where we don't normally do this in vanilla, but we put this guy in government to give us a little bit of a bigger chance at, rolling the event. Now we'll take him out, and so now we're down to 16%, but we'll probably throw him back in for a little bit of a faster one. And now we get container cars. And so this will be hopefully pretty good. Now, modern diesel trains, and let's see. Let's see if we might have a little bit of a thing where we have split PMs. We do have split PMs. I think that we're probably going to want to be all modern one thing. Maybe it's modern electric. I'm not sure if it's between probably modern electric, and then, yeah, let's do modern electric, because eventually we don't want to be on diesel anyways, because of sort of environmental reasons. And then we can come into the rural and check where, high-speed rail transport is. And then the resource industries, we will want to move on to container cars, which is going to help us out quite a bit because it is going to save labor, and labor is the most expensive thing for us right now. And so being on container cars will be big nice for us. And so this is going to be chef's kiss. So, natural gas? Oh, baby. Yeah, we can. So, that'll be good. That frees up a whole bunch of labor. And so they should go off and get other jobs and spike the GDP up. And advanced irrigation. Big nice, too. Alright, we just passed it. We just got it. The heavy industry nationalization, which is going to help because this is going to allow us to use some PMs that, we can swap to publicly traded on a whole bunch of different stuff, which is going to produce bonds, which is a good that I don't really know all that well because we have been on this for some time, but you can see that it's not available on the heavy industry here, which includes all the mines, but it was available on the agriculture, it is available on the fish. I assume it won't be available on the gas. I assume it's going to be available on stuff like food industries and consumer goods and maybe electronics, but it will not be available on things like engines and glassworks. Yeah, so glassworks is out. Paper, maybe. All right, we got paper. But what this is going to allow us to do, hopefully, if it's working in a way that, you know, kind of makes sense, is it's going to change the ownership class where we're going to suddenly have, you know, a lot of capitalists where we had zero capitalists before, basically, which is going to allow us to pass, you know, more capitalist-oriented laws. And it's not necessarily the case that we want to go full, capitalization, but having a bunch of these is going to help out. I think that the investment pool is probably good, but money kind of doesn't matter when you can just make money moves. And so, you know, what are you going to do other than make money moves, of course? But we'll swap all those to publicly traded. I think we have a last few industries here. And I think publicly traded might even unlock new stuff. Well, it doesn't unlock like independent news, but this is going to be, you know, we're going to at least make a ton of bonds, which are going to be valuable as well on top of that, because it does also improve the PM. You know, it's not surprising that capitalism is going to be looking to be best in this mod. That will be a big thing, but also there will not be an immediate... So that immediately just jack up our economy? It looks like it did, but also I'm expecting it to immediately greatly reform our clout and switch things up. Like the capitalists, surely they're having a come up in the clout. No, not yet. I guess maybe we have to wait a few ticks. Another thing is the game is going way slower now, which is, you know, kind of just... as expected. We have a new PM in semiconductors, so we'll turn that on so we don't forget, because there's a lot of different PMs all over the place. I think there they are. Single chip processors, there we go, which will use more rare earth minerals, so it's a good thing we're annexing them down here. Now, it does seem like naval invasions, for whatever reasons, bugged out, but whatever, not too big a deal. We can push from our subject. But now we can pass something that the Intelligentsia likes. I mean, I guess we could go military-industrial nationalization and move in this direction. We could also open our borders. This seems decent, although I'm not sure exactly how much this will do, other than make Pops mad and Pops happy, because, well, it will do something. It'll allow our discredited Pops to move around, actually. It'll allow intra-market migration, which will be important because, no, they still won't migrate. Stupid. The way that stuff works is like not that ideal. We need the moralists or the other guys in, and I don't know how to make the moralists. I don't know how. There's not a good way for us to form a legitimate government with the moralists, you know. So maybe we have to try and do something about getting onto some form of democracy to try and get more legitimate. Something like representative democracy, but who do we need in on this? So urbanists, we know we can put the urbanists in. And so we could try and pass something through the urbanists. Notably, the urbanists naturally, I think, support this, and so we don't need to promote their guy, who definitely supports it. But why don't we take a look? Maybe we can recruit a general or something and look to exile. So Intelligentsia, this guy's loyal, and what is he? He's an abolitionist. So he's going to be a fan of criminal... Yeah, so those aren't important to us. We're just going to recruit a patriot here. Actually, let's recruit a patriot, make sure it's in the Balkans HQ, alright. And then here, now we have another Intelligentsia available. She's a moderate. It's not exactly what we want. What about this ruralist IG? What do they have? They're moderate as well. Again, not exactly what we want, but we're going to recruit the ruralist just to clear out, the guys. And so we can... so multiculturalist now. Moderate, and then this abolitionist from before. What does multiculturalist give? Because we can promote these people to being, the multiculturalists won't do it. We kind of don't want to recruit... I guess we can recruit this guy and then clear, so he's Costa something. Razik, and so he's also hated, so he's unlikely to get the thing, but we'll just retire him up, and then we will continue to look a little bit more. So we get another Intelligentsia, another spineless moderate. So we're going to recruit him as Varik, And then we are going to exile him. Retire him. And we are looking for something that we can use to push a ideology in a positive way for us. We're just going to recruit this guy and leave him, because the moralists, we don't mind them getting a little bit more power. Urbanists, we definitely want to get more power, and these people will make them happy. What's your ideology? Pacifist. Don't love pacifist, but we can recruit you and just promote you up for you to contribute to the urbanist clout. And so that'll be fine. And then let's take one final look at these guys. Multiculturalist. I think it's too multiculturalist. No, moderate, multiculturalist. Just lack of spine all around. Okay, so we're going to take a look through the Navy as well. Let's recruit an admiral and see what we can get. Punitive, we didn't like. Abolitionist, don't have a problem with. Moderate. Why don't we recruit this moderate guy and then just exile him? We don't really... Well, I guess we could... well, whatever. We're going to retire him. We're going to recruit an admiral again. And we're going to continue to look. Laborist, state interventionist. You tell me we're getting the one guy who endorsed heavy industry nationalization. He's late to the party. I think we will just recruit this entrepreneur guy and exile him, because we really don't want someone who's punitive. It's like almost fascist, but not quite fascist. Just punitive. Okay. And so we'll recruit again. Moderate, abolitionist. We will recruit... Well, let's recruit this Milan, and then exile the Milan. We are starting to get to the point where we don't want to, you know, get too much disapproval from all these exiles. Really trying to roll something. Well, let's take a little bit of a demagogue. Not too big a deal. State interventionist, moderate, and abolitionist. We'll take this guy. We might be kind of re-rolling him. And now we just have a capitalist and he's a feminist. And we'll just recruit him because we don't mind contributing to the capitalist clout to kind of clear things out. And we just get we get a bunch of nothing is kind of what we got here, which is a bit unfortunate. We have a nice spread out Navy. None of the Navy can do a naval landing because it's bugged for whatever reason. But we're pushing in here. But we wanted to try and... Let's just do this while we can, I guess. We have 50%, you know, government approval or whatever contested here, and so this will help us out at least a little bit to get things through. Maybe we want to decrease this institution that is giving us the clout for the pops in government. So let's start decreasing this, actually, because I don't think we want to juice up the Intelligentsia anymore, because they're not really helping us pass any laws, and we want to get on to, you know, kind of the more corporate guys. And maybe the more corporate guys can help us a little bit, but, like, the capitalists, once their, you know, clout kind of comes on up, because supposedly it should, right? Because we have a lot more private industries that have been created from nothing. And so in theory, like, their clout should be coming up. But theory is not practice in theory, only in practice. No, wait. Theory is practice in theory, but not in practice. That's the one. There we go. We did it. Kind of having a little bit of trouble pushing. Really wish we could have done a naval landing. I don't know why we can't. Oh, is it because Eastern Europe's not considered interior or something? Ooh, Rev Germany. That's a bit of a thing. That is a big rev. What is this rev even? It's a red flag. Oh man, is that red going rev? That'll be interesting to see. Okay, so we pipped the next level of military-industrial nationalization, and just to point something out, the game's crashing at a higher rate, and it's going slower, so this might be the last episode, but let's just take a look at, you know, what we could do, and of course, now we'll be in a spot where we can't swap, or what is it, we don't have really any good laws to pass, but now, ooh, we can't swap these over. So what does military really give us? Is it just the military-oriented stuff is now going to be able to be publicly traded? Or these got unlocked? Okay, so, you know, all this stuff, steelworks and all this stuff in, like, kind of heavier, I guess, well, I want to say heavy industry, but that's not the heavy industry was the previous one, but this unlocks a whole bunch to be publicly traded. So now we are getting, you know, oh, you know what it is? It's that the military is still government run, and the other ones are, yeah. So the military stuff is still government run, and the other stuff that is just industry is now kind of freed up, that we don't want to do the thermoplastics. But this is going to be good for our economy, I think. Uranium, of course, is military. And, you know, we're not really seeing too much from the private construction, but hey, there's a little bit of a railroad there. So the private construction queue is starting to do some stuff. This front is going to split and be annoying. It split, and then we got pushed because it had split. And we couldn't reassign either of the guys because they were both considered in battle, which is a little bit of a strangeness. But so we've got to keep a close eye on this. But once it splits, we'll just reassign one guy to each side. So we unlock two structural systems, which unlocks buildings for office buildings and construction itself. So let's first turn on the office building PM because we don't want to forget, as always. And then now we are going to start turning up some of these. But we're not going to turn up all of them everywhere. I think we're going to turn up in northern Serbia, which is going to increase construction by quite a bit there, and southern Serbia, where we have our capital, and that this will be more than enough of a come up. You know, it's going to be a lot more construction. Now, some of this, of course, can be taken over by the auto queue, but I think we might just push economies of scale, or maybe just take a look what's expensive in the market, what are we having trouble getting, and it's looking like financial services. Now, that makes a lot of sense because we just switched to being we switched to capitalism. This isn't going to help us out too much. We need to build one of these somewhere else. I just think maybe the PM's inefficient and this is why it's expensive, but it sucks that it's causing a shortage. Yeah, we just need labor so bad. But I think that we can solve more so the financial industries one, maybe. We have tourism industry. Where is our financial industries? I said, where is our... I mean, I know where we built it. We built it here, but the problem is financial services. Yeah, this is the problem here. Well, actually, this is the solution to the problem. Commercial banking. So this is going to generate a lot more financial services, which, of course, were what we needed. So that's going to be big nice. We're going to add a couple more of these. I think that... Why don't we take a look, and we see that we have some in Slavonia as well, and we'll add some here to the front of the queue, and hopefully that'll help out. We're also getting kind of maybe a little bit close to enforcing on Mozambique. Overall, the wars seem like they take quite a long time to enforce. Credit rating decreased. Come on, IMF. What do you mean speculative? No, they're pretty far off still, but hopefully we can get in there soon. We are kind of making some progress towards open borders, getting a few decent rolls to increase our chance. But I think we need to think about what tech we need to want to get. So, industrial laser application, laser motors. I think that, generally speaking, the ones that have been, the engine ones have seemed pretty good, but that's a tier 5 engine down here. Oxygen concentrators for steelworks. Steelwork seems generally pretty good too. Steelwork and aluminum, we are going to need, I think, more of that stuff for our construction industry anyways, and so we'll move that. Supercomputers seem like a good idea. Economies of scale, building cap. Well, that's not going to be too useful, except we're going to do it just specifically on our, what is it? On our university. Our university really does get to benefit from this, because currently we're getting the max 70 that we can, and we are going to kick that up quite a bit. Do we want qualifications or throughput? Definitely want the throughput. Definitely want as much innovation as possible, but we're going to crank that up there as well. So that should help out. And man, we just need, just like everywhere, there's just not enough labor on everything. And it's really what we need. I mean, maybe there's an argument for us even trying to push to 800 prestige in order to go to the next level to get some migration, to try and, you know, pull more mass migration events. Something like this. We have a decent amount of migration, but if we could expand the customs union too, this would really be good. But I think we have to get bigger than some people in order to expand the customs union. Let's see if anyone will accept a dominion from us, which is interesting that this is diplomatic. Where's our dominion little button? No. Will anyone accept a trade agreement? No. Will anyone let us take on their debt? The Thai religious revolt will, but you can't diplomatically do anything with a revolt, so I guess we'll just continue on continuing on. So we again have the very interesting situation of having 1 day ticks on trying to pass open borders, so this is going to, yeah, a hat trick is right. This is going to make it really easy for us to, you know, push stuff through. Do we want this guy to get a little bit more popular? Yeah, I guess we do. Well, he's a market liberal. Well, actually, let's have him pass over. He wants to. We want him to pass the torch, really. This is unfortunate. We'll take this one, I guess. It is 1 day ticks, and so we just gotta try and just kind of re-rolling bad ticks, you know. But they are in 1 day, so just a lot of stalls, though. We could put a guy in government, but the problem is if we put another guy in government, we will have some problems. I guess we're going to roll this one because it's... Oh, man, we low-rolled that one too. So now it's just 15% enactment chance. What we could do is we could put this guy in government, but then... And then we would have a higher roll, but then it wouldn't be as fast. So if we put this guy in gov, now we're at 26, and now we will have a 1 day roll, followed by, you know, not a 1 day roll. And that minus enactment chance... Man, come on. And now we have a full long shebang. I wonder if we take him out, if we go back to the 1 day ticks. Yeah, we do go back to the 1 day ticks. Holy shit, just so many bad ones in a row. Oh no, it's gonna get set back. So now we have to put these guys in to try and keep it moving forward. Also, with the capitalists in government, I think maybe we actually want to re-increase this institution that gives clout to people in government. Despicable neutrality. Well, we're going to take enactment chance over pretty much anything, so we're going to do that one. And now we're on 20% with 2 setbacks, and we no longer have our juicy 1 day ticking. But that's like an interesting thing. I think you can roll that in vanilla as well, but... what's this guy? He's a monarchist. Yeah, let him peddle his ideas. Let him elsewhere. But, yeah, just super interesting how we can get the 1 day ticks, though. Okay, so now we're on 28% enactment chance, so I'm pretty sure we can just reform the government, take this guy out, be over this 50 mark, which is the very important, and now we will get 1 day ticks. Oh, not 1 day, but like really fast ticks. So we'll take the really fast ticks with the 17% chance. We have a pretty high stall chance, right? It's over 50% on stall, and I guess we don't necessarily super hate. We'll stay focused on the lot. Super hate stalling out because we do need to get something done and switch on to, you know, trying to move towards this direction or whatever the IMF says, because they keep changing what they want from us. Alright, it's looking like this open borders business is dead in the water because we've stalled yet again, getting minus enactment time while we have both the capitalists and the intelligentsia in government, and, you know, I don't think this is going to cut it, so we're just going to come off of it. And instead, we are going to look to try and push... Ooh, independent monetary policy? Yeah, okay. I think we're going to try and push here into resource extraction. The capitalists will like this. It'll be big nice for them. Of course, we will pass real slow because we are getting minus 50% from legitimacy. Unfortunately, we don't have a good way to get rid of this guy. We wish it wasn't a laborist who was, like, in charge of everything, and he's pretty old. He's 79. He should have died by now, so kind of low roll every time he doesn't die. But Spain, are you okay? Apparently not. We will look and see, though, who we can maybe add some tax capacity to here, and then also push some EOS here. And try and rein this in a little bit. I think we do want to increase our, justice system institution quite a bit. The health system institution is really big. But this way, ooh, pharmaceutical industries throughput, big nice. And so that'll come along. But yeah, we are chasing this moving bar from the IMF, but now look, we can't pass any forward. We can't go forward because of illegitimate government. Damn. Can we do this? So close. We're already on minimal taxes, so there's nothing we can do here, but I think what we will do is we will just take them out of Gov, and then we will look to, because this will reduce corruption anyways. The corruption will trend towards 0, because the corruption's mainly being driven by the Intelligentsia here. And we are going to use these capitalist boyos. We're going to hope that their clout starts coming up, kicking up off the back of, you know, our institution here, which is giving increased attraction of interest groups in government. And so if these guys kick above high enough, the legitimacy will bump up a little bit and the law will start passing again. I think that, well, we managed to get, you know, this up and running in terms of passing just by waiting and, you know, utilizing our attraction of guys in government. We also finished a bunch of this bureaucracy here, so we are going to increase this quite a bit more, as well as, you know, fully expanding our healthcare system so that we, you know, have as many pops of living as possible. Now, I forgot we even had this, but there is the economies of scale building level cap, and fewer and fewer stuff is going to be, you know, government, run on government wages, and what this will do is it'll nicely expand it. Well, we probably don't need it. So the only thing that's even remotely close to the EOS is our university here, which is at capped 80%. And so if we wanted to increase the unis a little bit more, we could do this. We are now getting, like, we're spreading a lot of its capped, so we're actually gonna have to be, you know, going ahead of time pretty soon here. But I think that, man, the game is just starting to get quite a bit slow, you know, with, you know, several seconds per day, in a way that, you know, I don't know how much longer and how much deeper we're going to be able to play this run, especially because the pacing also seems just a little bit slower. Ooh, enactment chance, my sweet prince, thank you. But I think we're going to conclude this episode either way here. The IMF has moved the goalposts. They said we only needed several of these things, and now they're saying we need more. Terrible. And so we are going to have to keep going in that direction. We also notably annexed Mozambique, which is pretty nice because now we gained access to and constructed rare earth elements. And so we got these, you know, owned by ourselves. Wow, they have to be privately owned. Interesting. I guess no diamond mines are going to be government run, but fair enough. So this is going to be pretty good for us in the long term. You know, we did use all these PMs too. Just kind of still exploring the mod a little bit, but I think that this is if this is not the last episode, it will likely be the second to last episode, just because the pacing is starting to go slow, and the rollout of 1.5 is about 1.5.1 is about to occur at this point in time, just about, you know, in terms of when we are recording this, and so we might be swapping over to that. So let's just take a quick look at what's going on. We're the number 12 GDP. We're not yet the third superpower here, meant to be just behind or just in the scrum with the US and the Soviet Union, but we are having a come up. We also went after Sind here and subjugated them, so that we could get opium. We didn't even turn on those PMs. Terrible. So we wanted to addict our pops to, of course, drugs. So opiate refarmment will be a good one that will allow us to, you know, turn their opium into drugs. Perfection. So this is kind of what's been going on, and you know, where we might be going, where we might not be going. We also have, you know, let's see, GDP per capita is 12 and GDP is 12, so this is kind of the thing. This is our pop. This is our rev that we just popped, or our separatist movement, but overall the pop's been kind of coming up. You know, we have a really nice health institution, and this is going to help to, you know, allow these pops to come on up. So like this 50% increase in pop, we could annex these guys relatively soon for, you know, this uptick in pop would also be nice, and this sort of thing. Notably, I think their population increased, like after we subjugated them, maybe mainly because, or I'm guessing because they have access to inside of our market some of the stuff that's going to help with raising their SOL. Yeah, look, their SOL is a little bit higher. Our SOL, just kind of looking at the Eastern Europe position, we are doing really well on the SOL front here, and looking at the literacy, not quite as good as just north of us, but hey, we're starting to get a little bit of green, and you know, GDP starting to look okay-ish, and this type of stuff. So from a very, very rough start, you know, we managed to squeeze out something fairly good. We, of course, do have employment problems. Almost all these workers that are informal are in Mozambique, and we can't really build there very effectively. And they won't migrate because we don't have, nor is it very easy for us to get onto, not multicultural, church disestablishment. You know, I think that we will, I think perhaps a long time ago we should have tried to get on representative democracy. And then now it's going to be relatively a lot easier. The urbanists support it. Oh, and a guy specifically, we got a new guy here. We got an anarchist here. So that might be the next law pass we go for, is representative democracy. We were looking for a way to kind of pass this before, but the idea being that we could be way more legitimate with this and then pass laws way faster, and that this would help out quite a bit, in addition to rearranging the clout. And, oh, this guy is now... wait a second. I didn't notice this guy had died. What even happens... Well, the head of states and government, shouldn't we be more legitimate? Weird. But we do want to eventually get this chancellor out. Anyways, bit of a digression. We're just wrapping up the episode here. Hope you enjoyed. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. That's a bit of a yikes. Why don't we sell off some of this? It's getting increasingly hard to manage this, as we have, like, absolutely enormous money supply, you know, here. And so it's kind of depressing our ability to keep making money moves in this way, which is interesting that as we have started to get big, we can no longer make these crazy money moves, you know, to kind of reset things economically speaking. And so maybe we're in for a reckoning if we end up continuing the run. But if we don't continue the run, you know, this is a very interesting mod, and I'm glad we tried it out. Anyways, toodaloo.